101 Things You Need to Know About a Government Shutdown by NewsXstream. October 2025. Washington stops. America feels it. From paychecks to passports, parks to politics, a government shutdown doesn't just stall Congress. It touches every corner of the nation. Whether you're a federal worker, a business owner, or a family waiting on assistance, here are 101 things you need to know about what really happens when the government shuts down. 110. What a shutdown actually means. A government shutdown occurs when Congress fails to pass funding legislation for federal agencies. The U.S. operates on a fiscal year that begins October 1st, meaning missed deadlines trigger shutdowns. It's a funding gap, not a total collapse. Essential services keep running. The Constitution doesn't allow spending without congressional approval. Essential employees, like air traffic controllers and military personnel, must work without pay until funding resumes. Non-essential employees are furloughed, meaning they stay home without pay. Once funding is restored, Congress usually retroactively pays furloughed workers. A shutdown affects federal departments, contractors, and even private businesses that rely on government clients. It can last days, weeks, or even months, depending on political negotiations. The 2018-2019 shutdown was the longest in U.S. history, lasting 35 days. 11 to 20. The politics behind the shutdown. Shutdowns typically happen due to budget disputes between Congress and the White House. The current standoff often centers around spending limits, foreign aid, or policy riders. Each party tries to frame the narrative, either as fiscal responsibility or government negligence. Shutdowns can be a political weapon to gain leverage in negotiations. Historically, both parties have been blamed for shutdowns. Lawmakers still get paid during shutdowns, though many donate their salaries in protest. Political approval ratings usually drop across the board during prolonged shutdowns. The Senate can't move without the House, and vice versa. Gridlock kills compromise. Presidents often use executive influence, but cannot unilaterally reopen the government. Shutdowns have become increasingly common since the 1980s, signaling deep partisan divides. 21 to 35. The economic impact. The U.S. economy loses billions with every week of shutdown. Federal workers lose wages, and consumer spending drops sharply. Small businesses that depend on government contracts face delays and layoffs. Tourism plummets when national parks and museums close. The stock market reacts negatively to prolonged uncertainty. Confidence in U.S. financial stability can weaken global markets. The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, estimates shutdowns cost the U.S. up to $11 billion in GDP loss. Loan approvals for small businesses and farmers stall. Federal procurement halts, delaying military contracts and construction projects. The longer it lasts, the harder the recovery, even after reopening. 3650. How it affects you. Tax refunds may be delayed if the IRS isn't fully staffed. Passport and visa applications face long waits. SNAP and WIC food benefits risk interruption if funding runs out. Social Security checks continue, but new claims could be delayed. Medicare and Medicaid stay active since they're permanently funded. Air travel becomes strained as TSA agents work without pay. National parks may close or run unsafely with limited staff. Federal courts slow down, delaying trials and cases. Scientific research and grants get paused. Veterans face delays in benefits processing and outreach programs. Student aid offices may shut down temporarily. Public housing inspections and funding get disrupted. Weather forecasting and data collection could be limited. Emergency services like FEMA stay active but may face funding strain. Immigration courts and asylum applications slow dramatically. National Zoo and Smithsonian museums in D.C. typically close. Public health research at agencies like the CDC pauses. Federal workers often turn to credit unions for emergency loans. The Postal Service continues to operate. It's self-funded. Americans abroad could face delays in consular services. 51 to 70. The inside game. Who does what? The Office of Management and Budget, OMB, directs agencies on shutdown procedures. Agency heads decide who's essential or non-essential. Departments must submit a shutdown contingency plan. The Department of Defense keeps military operations running. Homeland Security maintains border security and law enforcement. The FAA ensures air traffic control continues safely. FBI and DEA agents keep working, unpaid. The Department of Education delays grants and funding distribution. EPA inspections and environmental reviews pause. SHUD halts processing for new housing assistance. USDA halts agricultural aid programs. Treasury continues essential operations but delays audits. NIH and CDC scale down research projects. National Science Foundation freezes grants. Federal courts tap into reserve funds for short-term operation. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, continues 24/7. Secret Service agents still protect officials, even without pay. The CIA and NSA remain operational due to national security needs. Federal contractors may lose revenue and delay payments. Most agencies implement rotational staffing to manage critical operations. 7185. Public reactions and real consequences. Public frustration grows as shutdowns drag on. Polls often show Americans blame both parties, but especially Congress. Federal workers organize protests and solidarity rallies. Nonprofits step up to provide emergency food and rent assistance. Businesses in D.C. and federal towns suffer steep revenue drops. Media coverage dominates daily headlines. Air travel delays increase due to worker shortages. National morale dips as political gridlock intensifies. Economists warn that prolonged shutdowns hurt recovery confidence. Lawmakers receive mounting pressure from constituents. International allies view U.S. dysfunction as a global concern. Credit rating agencies watch closely for fiscal instability. Veterans and retirees express anger over benefit uncertainty. Families relying on government programs experience fear and stress. Ultimately, shutdowns shake public faith in government competence. 86-101, The Path Forward and Lessons. Learned shutdowns end when Congress passes appropriations or a continuing resolution, CR. A CR provides temporary funding to keep agencies open. Lawmakers then work to finalize a long-term budget deal. Some propose automatic funding laws to prevent future shutdowns. Shutdowns cost more to end than to prevent. Each one weakens global faith in America's fiscal governance. Federal workers become the human face of the crisis. Bipartisan cooperation remains the only sustainable solution. Government shutdowns test democracy's resilience. They remind citizens how deeply government affects daily life. Shutdowns also reignite debate about the size and role of federal power. Every administration since Carter has faced shutdown threats. The media's role in shaping perception is enormous. Economists urge Congress to reform the budgeting process. Each shutdown carries lessons in leadership, patience, and accountability. And perhaps most importantly, a shutdown is never just about money. It's about values, governance, and the cost of division. Final analysis. Shutdowns expose the fragile balance between democracy and dysfunction. When politics halts progress, the people pay the price. The message is clear. America needs a government that governs, not one that stops working. Stay tuned to NewsXstream for live coverage, analysis, and breakdowns as the shutdown saga continues in Washington.